Hello, I hope you can hear me. So let's continue. I wanted us to talk about joins that are used in SQL because there are a number of them. So in a minute I open the notes. Joins. So we're talking about SQL joins. So a join clause is used to combine rows from two or more tables. I gave an example of if probably we wanted to extract, let's say, first name from the employees table. Let's say we want first name and last name. At the same time, we want to extract the salaries of the same employees. So these are two data that you want to extract, but they're from two different tables. So that's a situation whereby we are going to be using joins. So it's used to combine rows from two or more tables, based on the related column between them. One thing to note: for two tables to join, they must have a common column. Otherwise, you can use join table, just to help in joining those two tables if they don't have a specific common column. So that's the case. We have a number of type of joins. For example, we have inner join. It will return records. We said records are rows, so it will return records that have matching values in both of the tables. Let me give you an example. For example, we might have a list of employees. You have their employee number, their first name and their last name. Then we have the salaries table. What we need from the salaries table is their salaries. But some of the employee number does not exist in the salaries list. You can see in the salary we have employee number. So probably there is an employee whose record is in our area here, but they don't have record in the salaries table. The inner join, what it will do, it will exclude them and only match the salaries that are available in the employees that are available in the salaries table, and they are also available in the employees table. That's the area where we use inner join. As you can see in this circle, we are having table 1, we are having table 2. So they are records that are already in table 1, but they are not in table 2. They'll be excluded. Then we have records that are in table 2, but they're not in table 1. They'll be excluded. That's why it's called inner join. It only matches the records that returns records that have matching values in both of the tables. This is the function here. The syntax: you select column from table 1, then use inner join, then table 2. Then we have the on function to specify the columns that are matching. So we have table 1 dot column name is equals to table 2 dot column name. Let's go to SQL and do that. I'll create a new SQL file. So I'll go to where we're having create a new SQL tab. I'll click on that so that I have a new SQL script for joins. So we can just add a comment on this and say these are joins. And we're going to start with inner join. So this is what I'm going to do. We're just going to write a command to when using inner join. So select, we have select. We're going to be selecting columns that are from two different tables. So we can have employee number because that's one of the matching columns. So we have emp underscore number, comma, let's say first name and last name. Just a minute. Okay, I'm saying we're selecting employee number from the employees table. We can select first name, so we have first underscore name. Yeah, you can also add last name, so last underscore name, last underscore name. So these are the columns that we're going to be selecting from the employees table. Yeah, we can go ahead and add a column, let's say salary column. We want to see employee number, their first name, their last name, and their salary. The column salaries is the table, salary is the column, the one integer. So I'm selecting employee number, first name, last name from employees table, then salary from salaries table. So I want you to know now. After that, you use the from function. We can go ahead and specify where we are calling this data from. But before that, there's something that is majorly done, and this is how we do it. We have said employee number, first name and last name, they are coming from employees table. So we're going to abbreviate them, all of them, using the employee table. You can either use E or EM or EMP, but this is how you add it. Just before every column name, you add E and dot. For example, E dot. This means that this employee number is coming from the employees table. I'll do the same for the first name, E dot first name, employees table. That's why we're getting first name. Last name also is from employee table. So I'm doing E dot employee number, E dot first name, E dot last name, to abbreviate that these columns are coming from employee number. For the salary, because we're not getting it from the employee number, we use a different abbreviation. In this case, we can use S. Yeah, S dot salary, to mean that we are getting the salary column from the salaries table. I hope that's clear. We're going to be using this abbreviation somewhere. That's why I've decided to add them. Yeah. So where are we getting this data from? One, employees table. So I start with employees table. Then you make sure you type the abbreviation for employee. The one we used is E, so we are adding a small e there, referring back to our column area. That E in our column area here, E dot employee, represent employee table. Just in case you get confused, let me know. So we are selecting from employees table, then we join with yes.
Kindly zoom out.
Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't realize that. That's in. That's better.
Sure.
Yeah, so we are selecting employee number from employees table. That's why we have the E dot. We have first name from employee table. That's why we're having E dot. Last name from employee table. That's why we're having E dot. Then we have salary from salaries table. That's why we're having S dot. Yeah. Then from employee, that's where we are getting our data. From employee, represented by E. Then we are using inner join. Remember, we have said inner join returns only matching records. So we're having inner join. Inner join. Then you specify the second table. That's the salaries. So you have salaries table. Salaries table, and the abbreviation for salaries table is S. Make sure you do that. The last and final step is specifying which columns are matching in both of these tables. Yeah, the columns that are matching on both of the tables. If I go back to where we are having our area here, if you click on department, salaries, we have employee number. When you go back to column, the employees table, we also have employee number column. That means these two tables have a matching column, and that's what we're going to be specifying using the on function. So I'll type on. Let me minimize this as well. So I'm having on function. This is how I type. We're going to be typing them. Since we earlier abbreviated, I won't type the whole name. Yeah, I won't type the whole name. I'll just do, let's say, E for employee dot emp number is equals to S dot emp number, and then I close the column. Okay, let me make this line shorter. I hope the format is not confusing. So this is how it says. We are selecting these columns. We are selecting employee number from employee table, first name from employee table, and last name from employees table. At the same time, we are selecting salary from the salaries table. That's why we're having an S here. Then we specify from where are we getting these columns, from employees, and the abbreviation you must indicate so that SQL will learn where is this E coming from employee. Yes, then we are doing inner join salaries table, which is abbreviated as S. It makes the abbreviation makes the work easier, especially when you come to on, when you're specifying the common column. Other than typing, let's say, employee dot emp number, you're just typing E dot emp number is equals to S dot emp number. This means that this employee number is coming from employees table, and this employee number is coming from the salaries table, and we are using equal because these are matching columns. Yes. Is anybody having a question before we execute that? Okay, let me execute it and see the output. I run that. Okay.
Before you execute it,
it's okay.
It's fine. It's still fine.
Okay.
So in this case, let me try to understand. There is an abbreviation on selecting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are using the E dot, the column,
Mm-hmm.
or any dot, the column. Now, in this case,
Mm-hmm.
can we use any other letters?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
So we are able to use.
You are able to use other other letters. The only best thing is that if, let's say, we used P here, we will say employee, and then we specify here that the P is for the employees table.
Okay, I get it.
Yes. But it's always good you abbreviate according to the table, so that when you see E, you know is the employees table. If you see S, you know that's the salaries table, or any other column. Let's say department number, and so on. Yeah. So we executed the output.
Basically.
Yes.
Basically, the select, we are selecting from the employee table the first three, the employee number, first name and second name, right?
Yes.
That is from the employees table.
Yes.
Then S, we are selecting it, the A salary, we are selecting it from the salaries table, right?
Yes.
Great.
Yes. So we are selecting data from two different tables. Yeah. So let me just expand so that you're able to see. I don't know whether this is still small. Okay, I can't increase the output. Just run it. I'm just able to execute to increase the size of the codes. So this is what happens. We are getting employee number, first name, last name, and the salaries column. So you're able to see all these details in one column. Yeah. So you may be given some work somewhere, or you may be working on a database whereby you want columns that are not from the same table. This is how you extract them to get a new table. Yeah. And you can go ahead and save it. For example, we can save it. We said we are saving this using where we're having the same button here. So I just click on it. It's written export, then icon just next to it. You click on it. It takes you to your computer. You choose the location you want to save your work, and the format where we are having same save as. We have this format. We have .csv format. We have HTML. We have JSON files. We have SQL insert statement, Excel spreadsheet, XML, and tab separator function. So these are the files that you can export the work as. Yeah. So yes, you just choose for example, you can want our work or this table in an Excel spreadsheet. Then you're going to give it a name. Let's say salaries or employee salaries. Yeah, and then make sure you see the location you're saving is okay. Then you click on save. So when I go back to my computer to the same location where I saved my work, where was it? Documents, I guess. And then we have SQL. I should be able to find an Excel file. What did I save it as? Employee. Yes, employee salaries as an Excel spreadsheet. I'll double click on it. So you want to open it as Excel spreadsheet, so you can click on more apps if it doesn't open. Okay, let me see. Okay, so I'm supposed to locate the app I want to open it with, of which I need to go back to my computer and locate where Excel is, so for me to open it with it, which is a process. So we can just leave it as that. Okay, I didn't want to open it. Okay, just opened. Let me see the output. So this is the work we extracted. We extracted employee number, first name, last name, and salary over whole lists, and of course it is the work that we extracted from two different tables. That according to our output here. Yeah, that's the best thing about joins. So that's on inner join. We have another type of join called left join. What happens that it returns all the records from the left table and the matching records from the right table. So I'll give an example with the same data set. For example, we may be having a list of, okay, maybe I should have mentioned something. How do you know a right and a left table? The first table is usually the left table. I hope you can hear me. So as I've said, how do you know the left and the right table? Hello, George, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you too. So as I was saying, I wanted to clarify how do you know the right and the left table. The first table that comes after the from command, yeah, is usually the left table. In our case here, employee, yeah, and then the salaries is the right table. So let me just copy this query. I'm copying it and pasting it down here. So I'm working on the left join, so I'll just change this from inner to left. Let me just use caps. Left join. So in our case here, I've said after the from section, the employee table is the left table, and then the salaries is the right table. So we have said that left join returns all records from the left table. As you can see, all the rows that in the left table, and then the matching records from the right table. So I want to give a situation. For example, in our case here, our left table is employees, yeah. So we might have a list of employee number, their first name and their last name, and maybe there's someone whose these details are not available in the salaries table. For example, we may have an employee number that exists in the employee table, but it does not exist in the salaries table. So what will happen? It will be extracted because it is from the employee table, yeah, and you're using left join. That's the case. Otherwise, if you wanted all the records from the salaries table and the matching from the employee table, you can just change the salaries rotation, whereby the salaries becomes the first from the from function here, and then employees follow, so that it becomes the left table. Anytime you're working with joins, this is the left table. So when you're talking about all the records from the left table, we're talking about all the records that from employee table, and then the matching from the salaries table. The next type of join we're going to be looking at is the right join. It returns all the records from the right table and the matching records from the left table. It's just the opposite of the left join, yeah. So what will happen, I'll just use the same example. What will happen is that we are going to get all the records from the salaries table. Remember, we have said this is the left table and this is the right table. Okay, let me just change the join here. It is right. Yeah, sorry, we are using the right. That means when you're using the right join, it means that we want all the records from the salaries table and only the matching that are coming from the employees table. So if there is an employee details that are existing and they are not in the salaries table, they will be excluded, because we all need the employees salaries or record from the salaries table, and then the matching from the employees table. That's the difference between the joins. What happens when you want all records from both of the table? We have the cross join, yeah, we have the cross join. On the other hand, you realize that in most cases, for example, when you're working with more than remember, I want you to keep something in mind. We have been joining two tables. We're going to join more as we go on. You realize that we said join clause is used to combine rows from two or more. So in a situation, you might find yourself whereby you have more tables. Other than the two you're having, you have more tables. So we're going to be seeing later. So We have the cross join. It returns all the records from both of the tables. At times we use a join known as a natural join. We just type join. Join is a function by itself. Oh, sorry. Join is a function by itself. Join, just join. Yeah, it's a function that's used to join both of them. For example, you can have select employee number, first name, last name, salaries. We have employee number. Other than using the right join, you just use join. It is called natural join. It's used mostly if you're not sure whether you want all records from the first table and all records from the left table. So you just want to extract data, yeah, without any condition, all the output that's necessary. We're going to see that in a few. So I was talking about the cross join. It returns all records from both of the tables, as you can see in our picture here, where we're having cross join. All the rows that are from the first table and all the rows that are from the second table, regardless whether they're matching or not, you're going to get the output. And the function here we use is select. We have the column, then we have from the table name, and then cross join the next table. Yeah, so you have said cross join keyword returns all matching records from both of the tables, whether the other table matches or not. Yeah, so if there are rows from, for example, the employee table that do not match from the salaries table, you are also going to get the output of the same. Yeah, so yeah, that's on the cross join. Okay, let's work on these functions. We're going to be extracting data, but I give it in form of a question. As we do it, you can also try to do it on your side, so that you don't just follow the codes, but you get the necessary requirement that we are trying to extract using the join function. Yeah, so I write it as what? Yes. Yes.
Okay, basically these types of joins are there to guide you in regards to what exactly you want.
Yes.
How much information you want.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And from where.
Yes.
Well, like in this table, what do you want to get from it? In this table, what do you want to get from it? Right?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I wanted to give like an example, so I'll just type as a question. I'll use the slash. We said slash, then asterisk, sorry, slash, then asterisk for a more than one line continuous question. So we are extracting, so extract, you can just write it down. What am I writing? Extract. Yeah, so extract, we have first name, last name. Okay, of course we need employee number, so we start with employee number. So we can just have emp underscore number, comma, first name, first name, comma, last name, and title, anything else? Yeah, just like that. We're extracting. Okay, we can close that so that the next line would be a comment. You use asterisk, then slash, so that the next line will be a command line. So you're extracting employee number, first name, last name, and titles. don't know whether it's titles or title. Okay, let me just check that. Titles is the table, title is the column. So we extract in columns. So I give you 2-3 minutes, you work on it. Try work on it, then we do it together. As you do it, I'll mention something. One thing you'll note, I didn't specify, there's no condition indicating what type of join you will use. Yeah, what type of join you use. So you can go ahead. Or let's do this together and give you another one. You can see another question here, just closely similar to that. Okay, let me just give you that as what you're going to be working on it, and we work on something, the same join but a different question, because this look more similar from the previous one, but I mentioned something about it. When you're working with a specified a data that is not having any specific condition, whereby you are supposed to choose a specific type of join, you can go ahead and use the join I mentioned about, the natural join. Yeah, the natural join. And if you in your query you requested all the records from, for example, you can be told extract all the first names. Let's say employee number, all first name. That all give you an idea that it's either you put the first name as the employee table as the left table, then you use left join. And if you put it as the right join, the right table, then use the right join. So I want us to extract a different query. You can continue working on that as well on this one, but I want us to include aggregates in them. We're going to be including aggregates. So we're going to extract employee number, first name, last name, and then the salary, but not salary. Now we're going to be extracting average salary. Yeah, average salary. And on that note, we're going to be having a condition. We're going to be having a condition. Okay, I'll just add it here. Okay, just feel like you should work on it as well. I don't know whether I should go ahead and work on it or just give you. So we are extracting we're extracting all the columns up here. First employee number, first name, last name, and average salary. Oh god. Okay, let me just take average. Average salary. I'll give you these two as today's assignment. You extract employee number, first name, last name, and title. Then extract employee number, first name, last name, and the average salary. Just in case you encounter an error, or sorry, I used slash at the end. Okay, it should be that, so it shouldn't affect. So I'm extracting employee number, first name, last name, and average salary. And I hope you remember what we said about aggregate functions. So just in case you encounter any error, we're going to look into that in our class tomorrow. But before we close our session, I want us to look at one more thing. Maybe we talk about the sorry, the if function. The if function, we mentioned about it in our function area, but we haven't talked about it. So just add a comment and say if functions. Okay, didn't space here, that's why it's not like a comment. I guess it's okay now. I hope you have typed this question. You can do them later, then tomorrow we're going to look into them. You let me know whether you encounter an error. Of course, we have a long way to go with joins, so just give you as a challenge. You work on it. Any error you will encounter, of course, it will be one of your learning process, so we're going to work on it tomorrow. So I want us to look on the if function, and on the if function, we use if function if we are extracting a conditional output. Yeah, for example, in our case here, we are having, for example, the employment date. Let me see. Here we are having hire date, we have department employee, we have to date. Yeah, so we can use just the department date. So that what I want us to look up to here is to group people as either employed or not employed. Yeah, maybe someone resigned, maybe someone was maybe someone resigned, or they were disqualified and they were not to work at that area anymore. So we want to group as this using the if function. So we're going to use the select statement as well. So we have select. We can have the columns here involved in our table so that we don't work with joins. So you have emp underscore number. I'm extracting data that is contained in the department employee table. So we have emp underscore number. Yeah, so select emp underscore number, then add a comma and put my condition. So we're extracting employee number if, you can see the if function, if and within the brackets we're going to type our condition here. So we're going to say that if the date here, the last date, we see from date to date. So to date probably is the current one, yeah, or we can use says date. Of course, says is a function used to extract today's date. Today's date, we use says date. Let me just type it this way. We have says, is says date here is used to extract the date, today's date, like the date today. But let's just use the current data within there. We're going to use this as date later. So if to date, that's to underscore date, yeah, is greater than or equal to, is greater than equal to, you can go ahead and specify a specific date, maybe probably type today's date, specifically today's date, or you can use the sys date I've mentioned about. Sys date, it will just automatically generate the today's date. So we are saying if to date is greater than or equal to today's date, that means that the person who is whose detail we're extracting in terms of employee number is still employed. Otherwise, they are not employed. So I'll add a comma into brackets, sorry, not in brackets, in quotes, employed. So someone could be asking, what do we do to type the next person, the next category of the unemployed? You just add a comma. The comma is the only separate the current, if it's true, employed. If it's not true, then unemployed. So add a comma into brackets, not employed. In quotes. Yeah. So this is what happening. We are selecting employee number. If the today's date is greater than equal to today's date, we have said this for generate today's date, and we have said you can type the exact date here. The only thing you do is put it in quotes. So we're using the sys date function to generate today's date. Then that person is employed. Otherwise means that the today's date is less than to date. That's the sys date. That person is not employed anymore. So I'll just add the function from where we're getting this date. Of course, we said you can give a column a new name. We can just use the as function and give this column. That's where we're going a column that will hold employed and not employed. It won't be in brackets the way it is. If you don't give it a name, the column name will be if into bracket to date greater than equal to sys date, employed, not employed. That will be the column name. Yeah. So to give it a new name, we said use the as function. Let's call it probably employment. That's the new name of our column that will display employed and not employed. And then from where are we getting this data? From department employee table. Department employee table. Yeah. Then you close the column. So what we will be getting a column for employee number and a column telling us whether a person is employed or not employed. And what is guiding this criteria, employed and not employed, is if today's date is equal to greater than or equal sys date. I'll use maybe today's date. If to date is greater than equals to the function for today's date, then that person is still employed. Otherwise, the person is not employed. Okay, let me run that. Sorry. So this is the output. We are having the first column and number, employee number, then employment. I hope you understood why we're using the as function here, the as function, so that we don't have our column name here where we're having employment as the whole sentence from if to where we're having not employed. Because if you don't give it a new name, this will be the column name from if to not employed. So that's why we're using as function to give the column name a new name, employment. So in this output, you can see we have employed, not employed. So any output that is displayed here as employed, that means that their to date is greater than or equal to today's date. Yeah, and those whose employment is not employed, that means their to date is less than the sys date output here. And we have said sys date displays today's date. So if your current date is less than today, it means that you are no longer working to that company. And that's how we get the output using the if function. question? Anybody having a question? Maybe concerning the output here. I've said in the section where we're having sales date, you can type a specific date. For example, I can remove the sales date, and what I'll do, I'll put in quotes what's the date today. We are having 30th. Yeah, so this the most definite thing is that you should use the Excel format date, and the format date for SQL is, we start with the year 2023. Yeah, use the dash, then the month is 05, and then the date 30th, then in quotes. Okay, let me run that, and this is the same output that I was earlier having, the employed and not employed. So you can either use sales date is function for today's date, or you can just manually type the date. As long as you enclose it in quotes, you'll get the same output. Hello, Matthias. Oh God, he left. Sorry.
I'm here.
Okay. Are we together?
Yes, we are perfectly together.
Okay. I hope you got the if area. You can try to reduce it just to categorize something else. Let me.
Excuse Lucy.
Yes. Good evening.
Is that the format for writing today's date? If you write it, otherwise will it work?
Okay. Remember, every, I don't know, I'll say every software or every data storing type of program, it has the format for storing data, storing dates. For example, let me run something. I'll just use a simple function here. I'll select all from, where did I even type? Okay, from department employee. Let's see how the format of the dates are. That's why I ran select all. I ran that. This is the dates format for SQL. There you can see it here. We start with the year, then the month, then the date. This is the format for SQL. If you type otherwise, probably you get something else, or not the date. It may be treated but like something else other than the date. Yeah, so that's the format for SQL. Any other question?
Yes, I have a question. In regards to, I want to understand this concept of to date. Definitely to date which we are using here in the first after the opening parentheses,
yes,
say brackets.
Yes.
Yeah, that one is a column.
Yes.
In a table.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But at the same that is the department's
employee.
What?
Yeah, department
Yes.
employee.
Now I want to understand how is this date greater or equal? Like I really want to understand this concept. How is it greater than today's date?
Okay, this is what happened in the when this data set was created. I guess it was created for learning, because I get if you check on the dates, probably it's up to 2060 something. Okay, let's see. It's far away, not even next year. The the date that is let me order in a certain way. Probably I should order the date. If you check closely to these dates, we have all the way to 20 something, 2060 something. I just want to see the highest, and probably sorting would be okay. Let me select all, select dates, select to date, to underscore dates, dates. Just want you to see how these dates are, how they were recorded, up to what dates are they adding. That's why we're using today's date. From employee number, we can use order by function, order by descending, I guess. Okay, let's see how this function works. Order by, oh, I didn't specify the column. Sorry. Order by, and the column we want to order by is to date, to date. I hope that function is correct. We are selecting to date from the department employee, order by to date descending. Okay. We are having 9999. That's the date. It's the highest, like we are in 2023, so you can see how far the data was created to not 1999, 99. Sorry, can you hear me? Hello Chacha, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry.
Okay. Did you get the concept? I'm saying the latest, the highest date is 9999. Not 1999. Not 1999. 9999. Like 2023 all the way up. Yes.
I'm trying to actually write and see, because I realized and you cannot zoom that.
Yes.
I wanted to see.
Yes, I can't zoom. It refused. So they can.
Okay.
Yes.
Trust me, I get it. I actually thought the reason I asked, I thought this data was collected back
Yes,
then.
yes, I understand.
And maybe it was collected in 2019 and we are using today it is greater equal to that is the only thing that was confusing me.
Okay, so you are
so nice.
Okay.
My question is absolutely answered.
Okay. Thank you. That's all for today's class. Just make sure you do this small query here, work on it on joins, and then tomorrow, just in case you encounter an error, the reason I give exercises because if you experience an error and then we come and check on it with you, you're going to understand whether it's your computer or you just made a simple or manual error when you're typing the query. It still give you an opportunity of learning. So work on this, and then tomorrow we're going to check on it. So that's it all about in today's class. Unless you're having a question, have a nice evening.
Lucy, before you go,
yes,
on the assignment, are we using specific join?
Okay. This is what I would say. For example, in the first case, we are not using any specific join, but when we come to the second one, we are looking for average salary. So we are not interested to an employee who doesn't have a salary column, because we're looking for average salary. So if you put the salaries table as the first table, use the left join. If you put it as the second table, you use the right join, because you're interested in average salary. So you in your mind, you know that you're looking for salary, not just table output. Yeah. Answered, Marcus? Hello? something. Hello, can anybody hear me? Hello. Hello, Bill, can you hear me?